Ted, Kyle Rittenhouse, after we got done last night, said Friday night's the free-for-all where it's music, right? And we were like, yeah, of course. And he said, I want to come back because he wants to host tonight. Kyle, what is your favorite Ted Nugent song? What do you want to hear from the Motor City Man?
Wango Tango.
What a great lick. Now, I can't do the vocal intro where I thought I was Little Richard momentarily, a combination between Little Richard and James Brown and Wilson Pickett screaming at the end of Hey Jude. So I can't do that without getting a hernia early in the morning like this. But I can play the lick because the lick is so cool. And everybody, thank you for supporting my insane career. I'm having so much fun with my music. I'm going on tour this summer, July and August, for the Ted Nugent Adios Mofo 23 Rock and Roll Jihad, and everybody's going to have the time of their life with Greg Smith on bass guitar and Jason Hartless on drums, and we might even unleash this. I got goosebumps on my goosebumps. What a sexy, wonderful, horsepower, ballistically coefficient rock and roll lick that is. No kidding.
No, it's so good. Kyle, what else? What other Nugent songs do you like that since you're kind of guest hosting tonight, throw out your requests?
Well, the new Detroit album, there was a couple in there I like. Let's see. I got my playlist right here.
How about American Campfire? That seemed to be the number one. Everybody loves the American Campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name? Great lick. I got goosebumps on my goosebumps again. How cool is this, Kyle? Your goal in life is to be this excited about your passions when you're going to turn 75 years old. This is the dream. Clean and sober, surrounding yourself with ballistic coefficiency, killer music, sexy wives, killer dogs, wonderful family, and great people who shoot bad guys from Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's the dream.
What, Ted,
that's what we all want.
When I heard the verdict in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, I was so happy. I actually put on Raw Dogs because, I mean, that's exactly how I felt at the moment.
Yeah, listen to this. This is a song from, what was that? Was it Love Grenade or was it?
Crave.
Crave. From the Crave Man. But what a great lick. It goes like this. Flag of the mighty USA. Everywhere I run around to get out of my way. I'm American. Goes, here I come like crazy horse. I hear that battle cry. My spirit is full like sitting bull. It's a perfect day to die. What a love song. Do you feel the love, Kyle?
I feel the love.
You know, that ought to be the Kyle Rittenhouse theme song. I mean, like,
the lyrics are, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the mighty USA, and everywhere I run around, they get out of my way, because I'm American born, American made, and from American made, American born, and from my hands, my flag will not be torn. Here I come like crazy horse. I hear that battle cry. My spirit is full like sitting bull. It's a perfect day to die. What? I mean, it's so sexy. I can hardly stand myself.
And you know what, Ted? You wrote that before the Kyle Rittenhouse saga, and it could easily be that story. You know, I mean, it's just really perfect. If you ever run for president, that's the song you need to take the stage with. On the topic of presidents, Ted, we'd be amiss if we didn't talk about a big event musically. I mean, I saw a killer rendition of the national anthem here this week in Waco, Texas from you.
I'll tell you, Kyle, what you represent is supported by the best people in the world. I spent all day Saturday with conservative Americans, real Republicans, real independents, real heroes of law enforcement. I said a prayer for our January 6th victims, the political prisoners in the gulags of Washington, D.C. I said a prayer for George Kelly out in Arizona in jail for defending his life against an armed illegal invader. And I said a prayer for the snipers on the rooftops, because we were surrounded by snipers on the rooftops. I'm the only guy who acknowledged the snipers on the rooftops. I'd like to think that's like the Kyle Rittenhouse squadron. Anyhow, and those people support everything that you stand for in the self-defense that you perfected on that wild night in Kenosha. But Keith, President Trump is the man. If we want safe streets in America, President Trump needs to be the president. If we want energy dominance again, President Trump needs to be the president. If we want secure borders and stop the weaponization of fentanyl and methamphetamine from the communist Chinese monsters as brought in by the Mexican deadly, dangerous, evil, immoral drug cartels, as facilitated by the U.S. government. More people in America have been killed by communist Chinese fentanyl through Joe Biden's open border than were killed in Vietnam, Kyle. So these are wild times. And I would like, Keith, at this time, it is a free-for-all Friday. Kyle, as a young man thrust into this political anti-justice mayhem, do you find yourself pursuing more political awareness?
Oh, yeah.
Do you find yourself that you, as an American, you have a moral duty to participate in this sacred experiment in self-government? How has your political activism accelerated because of the experience you had?
My eyes have definitely opened up. I see political prosecutions every day now. And then I see things that just aren't okay that are going on. Like there's a drag show that children are at in Dallas right now. And I just feel disgusted that people are getting away with this. And it frustrates me and it pisses me off.
Well, how important is it that young people vote, Kyle? I mean, young people aren't voting, at least not the way they should. Speak directly to your age class. How important is that they vote, and what should they be looking at and thinking about when they cast that vote?
I'm going to be honest. So I know a lot of people my age and they just want to go with the crowd. Like a lot of my friends won't even hang out with me publicly. Well, I don't consider them my friends actually, but some people won't even hang out with me publicly because they're scared their other friends are going to judge them. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm just tired of the wokeness. I'm tired of the wokeness and people my age and the purple hair people. I'm just tired of it. I think.
Good for you. Good for you. Do you think you've had any influence on some of your age group? And I hate to use the word peer because I'm Ted Nugent. I ain't got any peers. And my name is Ted Nugent. Nobody can pressure me except Mrs. Nugent. So the peer pressure lie has actually been, they fell for it. They think they have to fit in. I mean, the drugs, the alcohol, the stupidity, the nonsense, goofy food, and the conduct of so many young people. Do you think that you've actually awakened some of your friends that what you did that night was righteous, or have they all turned on you?
I've actually made some new friends. So
I'm your new friend. I'm a great new friend. Keith's your new friend.
Yep,
what more do you want?
That is true. That's all I need. Yeah. One of my best friends, he lives here. He lives a couple blocks from me. He's a firefighter paramedic, right outside Falls County. And he tells me about some of the people at his work that are just woke, and he's tried to convey them, but I don't know if there's any hope. These people, they don't want to sit down and listen. They're just so ignorant to look at the facts. They're so set in their own mindset. Like, I'm open to have a conversation, but I know my values and I know where I stand. You're probably not going to change my mind because I believe my way is the right way.
I think what you represent, Kyle, what Keith and I do here, we are humble servants of God. We know truth, logic, and common sense. It's not an opinion. It's not a supposition or a presumption. Truth, logic, and common sense. Self-evident truth, logic, and common sense, like the founding fathers wrote down in those sacred documents, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, certainly the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule. These are the guidelines, the guideposts for the ultimate moral, fulfilling life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. What was Kyle Rittenhouse's frame of mind pre-Kenosha versus the Kyle Rittenhouse of today?
I didn't really care, if I'm being honest. I had one big issue before the incident happened. I just wanted to make sure that our law enforcement was taken care of and that there was a politician that wasn't going to take away the police. And
even at 17, you understood that?
Yes, I saw the defund the police movement, and that's all I really saw politically and cared about. Now there's so much more. I don't want to see our police departments get defunded. I don't want to see these. I don't agree with these young children getting these hormone blockers and getting these transition surgeries. I think that should be illegal. I think the doctor who does those, if they do them, should be put away in prison for the rest of their life. And I just have strong values that I believe in now. And I see how our voting is messed up. And I see what's going on with Russia and Ukraine and Biden giving Zelensky billions of dollars when we're already in debt.
Yeah. I think Kyle's on a truth, logic, common sense course here. Keith, what do you think?
Well, I think, I mean, honestly, Kyle, that's brilliant. Very commonsensical, if that's a word. I think it's going to take young people like you having the conversation with other young people like you, and then ultimately getting involved not only at the ballot box by voting, which is critical, but it's going to take someone like you running for your school board or running for a county commissioner's position or running for a U.S. House of Representatives seat, Kyle, because if young people like you that have the traditional values of God, family, and country do not get involved in our country, then those that you pointed out earlier with this woke ideology, the purple-haired, spandex-wearing, not sure if they're a boy or a girl individual, they're going to run the country. My last question to you, Kyle. Ted talks a lot about the fact that we are in the midst of this cultural war, really for the soul of America, good versus evil. What's your take on that idea?
I think we're definitely in a cultural war versus good versus evil. And it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, we're all God's children. And I just think we need to learn to find some common ground, but the left isn't willing to do that. They're not willing to find common ground and look at things like, hey, maybe if we take away all these firearms, that just maybe that people won't be able to defend themselves, our God-given right. And they need to look back at the Constitution, what our founding fathers set for us. And they don't want to do that. They just want to apply these new things that don't make any sense.
Well, Kyle, you've been a great guest this week. We can't thank you enough. Keith, we're coming up for the final nightly Nuge of the week, our weekend edition, which celebrates the great healing powers of nature. Let's keep Kyle on one more time because I want to get into Kyle's history and especially Kyle's future because he's coming to Spirit Wild Ranch. And if he's never been a powerhouse of conservation, hunting, fishing, and trapping, after this visit at Spirit Wild Ranch, I have a funny feeling he's going to be.
I love it. Let's keep Kyle around one more day for the weekend edition, and let's talk hunting, let's talk outdoors, and let's talk what the future is going to hold for Kyle Rittenhouse tomorrow on the weekend edition of the Nightly Nooch.
Yowza.